in one space. Yes, their spaces are separate. The Christians are praying on one side, the Muslims praying on the other side. But they did pray together in one space under one roof, which is the Umayyad Mosque. So, but they have their separate space because the Christians are committing shirk. They are worshipping Jesus. They have a cross in front of them. Okay, so that wouldn't be a masjid, technically speaking. Yeah, that's not a masjid. Where the Christians are praying is not a masjid. It's a church. You can call it what you like. It's a temple. It's a place of worship. Yeah, it's a place of worship, but it is not a masjid, because the Quran specifically gives a definition of a masjid. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وأن المساجد لله فلا تدعوا مع الله أحدا. That masajid, mosques belong to Allah. Do not pray in them or call upon others in them other than Allah. Yeah. So this is.
But the harmony can exist.
Of course, harmony existed for centuries, for hundreds of years.
So what I'm finding is that the resistance is more from the Trinitarian Christians to pray with the Muslims, and also from the
Muslims are not taught to hate anyone. We don't have a policy to hate. We don't have a policy to exterminate. We don't have a policy to persecute. We don't. If we did, it would be very clear from the life of the Prophet, his companions and their followers. But what we do see in history is that, generally speaking, our history of 1,400 years, generally speaking, Muslims have been very fair with the Jews and the Christians.
So what's the beef happening during Ramadan between the Muslims
this
and the Jews?
This is Zionists. This is not between the Jews and the Muslims. This is between the Zionists and the Muslims.
Because the concept I'm getting is that they won't share. But what you're saying is they can share. So I'm
Muslims have shared, let me explain. The Muslims have shared that space, the holy sanctuary, the Haram al-Sharif, or that space, that sacred space. Muslims have shared it with the Jewish people for over 1,000 years.
So what is the contention then?
The contention is this secular, atheistic, fascist, apartheid ideology of Zionism that's causing the problem. It's not between two religious groups. It's not between the Jews and the Muslims. That wasn't the case. This is a problem between a godless, secular, atheistic ideology called Zionism and Islam and Muslims.
Look like in practicality, what are they actually doing that is triggering the scenario?
There's no discuss. Yeah. So
I wanted you to have the conversation with the Jewish.
But Ben, these are questions that are relevant to you.
Ben.
You may be able to defend. Is he a Zionist?
We don't know.
Okay.
State your case.
There's a Jewish gentleman here who was talking to me earlier, and he was saying a lot of interesting things, and I asked him, why don't you come on camera and say all these things so that we can discuss and show the world that we can actually have a conversation, a friendly conversation, right? Yeah, but this guy is very disingenuous. I've had conversations with him before, this Joseph, okay? And
why not about what we spoke about?
What's that?
The same thing this guy doesn't want to talk about on the camera.
Joseph, I've had like multiple conversations with this guy, and because he's not, I don't find him to be very sincere. He's always manipulating things, and he's not very straight.
The historical advice I've seen you giving him is comprehensive as well.
No, look, if someone claims something about you, with what happened with him was he claimed things about me that I claim things and they don't exist. I pulled out Hebrew sources and then the translations, and I put them in front of him. He's still not admitting that the sources say exact. Yeah, so how can you speak to someone like that? This is the problem. I wouldn't like to waste my time with people like that. Yeah, sorry, you were saying.
There's a couple of weeks ago, some brothers from Birmingham were looking for you.
Yeah.
They wanted to give you a gift. They left. This is
Okay.
the gift they wanted to give you.
Okay. This is a gift left by some brothers from Birmingham. I think they are Sufi. Yeah. And because the author, I know the author.
just to
They left a book for me.
make you happy. You're not happy to give it to them.
Oh, no, I'm happy to give it to him.
So what is it? That's what I'm saying.
That's I have no idea what it is. That's what I'm saying. He's explaining it now.
Yeah.
So it's a subliminal message.
No, it's a clear message. This is a book authored by a Sufi Peer. They have a word called Peer. Peer means an elder. Okay. So he has written this book, and they want me to read it. Yeah. So I'll read it. No problem. I know exactly what the book is about. I just read the title. I know what it is. Okay. So I don't know why they left it for me. I don't know. But very nice of them. Thank you very much, guys. Whoever left this gift for me, I've received it. Thank you for keeping the amana, and I'll definitely look into it. I know what the topic is. I've read into it. I'll read again, inshallah. Thank you so much. Okay. So. Okay. But it's best. Sometimes it's best to be careful because you don't know what's inside. It could be anthrax. It could be anything, right? Yeah. There are many people out there who don't like the da'wah we're doing. There are many people out there, possibly due to ignorance. I don't know what the problem is, but there are many people out there who have this problem with us. Okay, so that's it. That's no. My hands are not clean because he was. It's a political issue, and it is temporary.
It's just so convenient that it happens all the time.
Oppression can never go on for long. It will not last. What people don't understand is that all of this will disappear. This Zionist regime will not last forever. Like none of the empires in the past lasted forever. All of this system, whatever power they have in the world, will collapse eventually. It will collapse, and only Allah will rule forever. Only Allah will rule forever. So the point is, these people, they think that they kill few people here and there, few innocent children, women and men. They think they are winning the war, they're winning the conflict. They're losing.
Every Ramadan.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah.
I don't understand it, and that's why I want to ask you, because obviously you've got a lot more knowledge about it.
Yeah.
But to me, it's no coincidence that every Ramadan it happens. Even the Muslims are expecting it.
Yeah.
It's just abhorrent to me why it keeps happening. I don't get it, and I thought maybe if I ask you, you might give me a little bit more understanding as to what it is, or what specifically triggers that level of violence.
We all know what it is. It's an illegal occupation, and that's it. Here comes our Zionist friend. My hand is not clean, sorry. No, it's not my bleeding. It's one of your Jewish brothers who was bleeding, who shook my hand, and he left his blood on me. Yeah, but then that blood, that Jewish blood got mixed with the Ishmaelite blood. It's a good start. It's a good start. It's a good start. Yeah.
I saw you a few times on video.
When can we debate historical very
I'm not debating you.
Are you on video? A bunch of videos?
You know, stand in front of the mirror, ask yourself, why is Adnan not debating me? And you'll get the answer.
Why not?
I'm not debating you.
What is it, Jewish video?
I am yet to find a decent debater in the park. I'm yet to find. I haven't found one from the Christian side. I have found them around the world. I have debated many, as you know. I'm not debating you. No, I can't debate you. No, I lose before I start. I lose. Yeah.
Basically, I saw Brother Adnan ask the guy called Bob, who's an infamous Christian preacher.
Bob the Bill.
Yeah. I heard Brother Adnan have a lot of intellectual discussions with a lot of the Christian brothers. But I was coming from a position which I heard Brother Adnan touch on, that in the Garden of Gethsemane, the Christian Jesus, the Garden of Gethsemane is where Jesus prostrated to.
But they don't believe in Jesus.
I know. But what I'm saying is,
The Jewish people, they believe he was an imposter. He was a liar. Yeah.
Rather than arguing with Christians, which is what the video you saw, I asked him to perform the sujood of Jesus. And that's what he asked.
My hand's not clean. My hand's not
And
clean.
to me, it's a good way of uniting the two schools of thought, if that makes sense. Rather than arguing on the indifferences, I'm trying to argue for what is the similarities
Between what?
between Christianity and
Look.
Islam.
Look, he's taking your place now. You're losing out. Okay. Yeah, I was discussing with him earlier that why is it that the Jewish people haven't accepted Muhammad, and I was giving a very simplistic way of looking at things.
I'm joking.
I said to him that there could be two reasons. One is absolute ignorance of the sources, which is possible. People can be ignorant. The second is stubbornness. And we discussed earlier that the Jewish people are known to be very clingy about the sources. Yeah, clingy. Yeah, absolutely. And it's a good thing. It's a good thing. If you think your religion is true, you should be clingy. You should be clingy. But being clingy when you know that there is something that you need to consider and accept, and you reject it because you're clinging to the old sources, okay, or the older understanding which has been abrogated, and there's a new solution now, there's a new law, right? Then it's a problem. Then is that clinginess or that stubbornness, it can easily lead to
How do you know that's the reason? How do you know that's the reason?
because I know Jewish rabbis have studied. I'll give you an example. Rambam, the most learned, Maimonides, Musa bin Maimun, Maimonides, Rambam, he's known by many names. The second Moses, he's one of the biggest authorities in Jewish history, right? On Jewish law, he wrote commentaries on the Bible, on the Tanakh, right? Now, Jews of Yemen wrote him a letter. They wrote him a letter, and he responded to it. In the letter, the Jews of Yemen put down certain passages from the Tanakh, from the Old Testament, in the Hebrew language, and they said the Muslims in Yemen, the scholars, they are arguing with us using these passages, that these passages, they are discussing Muhammad. These are prophecies about Muhammad, an Arabian prophet. What say you? So the Jews of Yemen wrote this letter to Musa bin Maimun, Maimonides, who was in Egypt at the time.
Right, saying that these things in the Bible refer to Muhammad.
These things in Jewish scriptures refer to Muhammad. So claim the Muslim scholars.
Okay,
What say you? What
What's
say
the
you?
response?
Okay. He responds by using all those passages and responding to them, and putting some absolutely ridiculous spins on them, right? Completely, to dissuade the Jewish people, just to dissuade, basically to discourage them. So he starts to complain about his experience with the Muslims, even though he was a physician to the Sultan in Egypt at the time, right? But one passage, for some reason, he does not address. He addresses Deuteronomy 33:2. He addresses Deuteronomy 18:18. He addresses other passages Muslims were using for the Jewish people to accept Muhammad as the last messenger of God. But one passage he does not address, Isaiah 42, which is the most powerful.
Isaiah 40 is the one that, is that Kedar? Is that one Kedar?
Kedar, Law, Torah, Goyim, okay, Yoshi Mishpat, you know all that, okay. All of those idol worshippers to put to shame. All of the go on.
Here's the thing. When I read, I find it very.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's open.
My interests are in philosophy, science. These are my interests.
Okay.
Right. So when I read, let's say, the Bible or the Quran or these kind of texts, right? Very often it's very difficult for me to understand what's going on. Like my mind just doesn't click that way. You understand what I'm saying?
I understand.
Okay. Now, so somebody came up to me with this. This was a few years ago, right? And I looked into it, but from what I could understand, because there's a passage before, right? That seems to say that it's talking about. What does it say? It will scream out. What was the 42? How does it start?
It starts that, behold my chosen one,
that's it.
in whom I am well pleased.
There you go, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
It's been a while. So when it says
Earlier you were not talking to me, you ran away from camera. Now you want to come in. Now you want to come in. Okay. And now that I'm talking to another one of your Jewish brothers, and my Jewish brother, because he's actually, I'm Ishmaelite and he's an Israelite. I'm an Ishmaelite and he's an Israelite. So we are related
we're
somewhere.
all brothers because we're
We are-
children of God.
Yeah, we're children of Adam, not God. I don't know.
Well, no, I mean,
we're
I don't
children
mean
of
literally.
Adam.
I don't mean. I don't mean literally. I
Yeah,
mean,
we are
we're
created by God. Yes,
creations of
yes,
God. I
yes,
don't mean.
yes.
Bro, can I share with you one thing? During COVID, sorry to cut you, I'll share with you just one thing very quickly.
I gotta go now.
So-
I gotta go. Let me respond to that because I
So,
gotta
so,
go. I
so,
gotta go.
so before you go,
But wait, so let
Isaiah
me-
42, my
no,
brother.
So let me respond to that.
Yeah.
So I looked at the time, and like I said, it's not really my thing. But when it
But
says,
why is it not your thing? I mean, your salvation,
So-
your salvation depends on something,
So it says-
and you're saying it's not really my thing.
So-
It doesn't make sense.
So what was it? The chosen. What's the word you used? The chosen one. I forgot the word. You
The
used.
first verse is behold my chosen
My
one.
chosen one, beloved one, and he uses the same phrase, right? Just in the previous chapter, he
Yeah.
used the same phrase to talk about the children of Israel.
Yes, and the Quran says that. The
my
Quran,
point.
no, wait, you raised a very good point.
Yeah,
The Quran acknowledges that the Jewish people,
Okay.
I just remembered your name. Israelites
Listen.
are the chosen one of God. The Quran tells us that. They were the chosen one of God, yeah.
Adnan, I let you speak for a long
Yes,
time.
you're right,
to
you're
finish
right.
your
I'm
point.
confirming.
I let you land.
Yeah, sorry.
Right, so when I talk, you let me land, right?
Apologies.
Okay, no problem. I gotta go after this anyway.
Okay.
Okay. So the thing is, if it uses the same phrase to talk about the children of Israel, then it makes logical sense that when it says the same phrase, it's talking about the children of Israel. So you cannot say it's talking about Muhammad. By the way, I don't think there's any evidence that it's talking about Muhammad.
But let's discuss
put
it.
that aside. But do you understand what I'm saying? There is evidence that it's actually talking about the children of Israel.
No, it's not.
Right?
Isaiah 42 isn't.
Yeah, but it's on the chapter before. It uses the same phrase to talk about the children of Israel. This is evidence.
I
that
got
it's
the
talking
point.
about- yeah.
I got the point.
Okay.
In Isaiah 42, however,
I gotta go then.
okay, no problem. Isaiah 42, however, specifically mentions that this prophecy or this messianic figure, this prophet king who is coming in the future, is not only coming for the Jewish people, but he's also coming for the Goyim.
Say prophet king over there.
Sorry?
I don't think it says that. Are you sure?
Oh.
In Isaiah 42?
I
don't think it says that.
Commentaries. He's going to be a king and he's going to be a prophet.
Okay, commentaries,
It's
but
no. Isaiah 42 says he's going to be a king. He's going to be a king. He's going to be a ruler.
but that phrase
Wait.
it doesn't use. But that phrase is not talking about here.
Let me explain. It says the whole chapter talks about one person. It's a prophecy. Isaiah 42, the entire chapter is a prophecy about one person. It's a
It's a
prophecy.
prophecy about one person. I'm not so sure about that. I don't know about that.
I will declare things to come. God is saying, I will declare things to come.
Yeah, okay.
This is a prophecy.
No,
So
that's God declaring.
every point you will raise, I have a response from the chapter for you. Okay? Isaiah 42 mentions characteristics. One of them is temporal power. This person will have temporal power. He will have physical might. He will defeat his enemies and rule over them. Number one. Number two, he will be a messenger of God. So that's a prophet king. That's a prophet king coming after Moses, by the way. We haven't had after Moses. Are you listening? After Moses, okay, possibly with the exception of Joshua, we haven't had any prophet king in Israel, have we? David, yes. David, Solomon, yes. Okay. Since that time, after the prophet, I'm talking about prophet king.
Okay.
Prophet king. After Moses and Joshua, we had David and Solomon, right? Okay. Yeah. So I'm saying prophet king. Okay. Someone who had temporal power and defeated his enemies. Okay. Now this is post David. So when I say after this revelation,
Okay,
we-
I gotta go.
we-
But you have my answer. When I read it, I didn't see anywhere it's talking about a person. It looks like it's talking about the
my
children of
question to
Israel.
you is, who is the prophet king who came after the 8th century BC? Who's the prophet king?
Enjoy.
And has something to do with Arabia. Now you're gonna he's left. You're gonna shift as well. This is not good. This is very disingenuous behavior.
Adnan, you're scaring all the Jews.
No. I'm not here to scare anyone. I'm not here to scare. No. My hands are not clean. Sorry. Yeah. He shook my hand. He was bleeding. So this is the Israelite blood got mixed with the Ishmaelite blood. Yeah. Subhanallah. You see, he's getting there. Come, look. You were standing there. You were standing there a minute ago.
Adnan, do a quick summary. Give me
Okay.
a summary what happened.
The summary is, firstly, this conversation started with a Jewish gentleman who's called Ben. He's a young man, lovely young man, a very nice, smiley, pleasant young man. We started speaking with him We offered him coffee. We went to the canteen. The canteen was closed. We came back and we started talking about Isaiah 42. I asked him, how can you, as an intelligent Jewish young man who has studied our sources, because he mentioned a few things, how can you not accept the Prophet of Islam, Prophet Muhammad, who is foretold in your sources? Clearly, he's mentioned as an Arabian prophet, and he mentioned the prophecies. So let's talk about Isaiah 42. We started. Sorry? Are you Jewish? No, I'm talking about Jewish people. Okay, I'm talking about.
It's someone of my lineage who is being prophesied in Isaiah 42.
Okay. So I'm trying to finish this conversation. So with the when I asked him to come on the camera, or come in front of the camera, and let's have a conversation, he said no. He refused. He said, and the point I was trying to make was that we, the Muslims, and the Jewish people can have conversations. We can talk. We can talk in friendly fashion and reach conclusions. But he refused. He walked away from the camera. He didn't want to be on a camera. And then another gentleman came who was speaking to me just now. When I started speaking with him, Ben came in. For some reason he came in. He wanted to speak to me. But then when he left, he's gone. So the conclusion is Isaiah 42 is a prophecy specifically for the Israelites, the Jewish people. And that includes all Jewish people. Those who consider Isaiah, the book of Isaiah, to be from God, a revelation that came with a prophet called Isaiah in the 8th century BC. That prophecy specifically talks about a prophet king who will bring a new law after the law of Moses. He will be a prophet king. And this is post David and Solomon. This is afterwards. Who is that prophet king? And then he has something to do with Arabia. Verse 11 gives the geographical location of this person. He will have something to do with the children of Kedar, or the villages of Kedar, to use the specific language used in the Hebrew language. The villages of Kedar, let them rejoice, let them celebrate. Celebrate what? And celebrate why? Kedar is an Ishmaelite. He was the second son of Ishmael according to the book of Genesis. So why the Ishmaelites? Why do they need to celebrate? The Jewish people need to answer these questions. If this is about an Arabian prophet who will come with a new law, he will triumph against his enemies, he will put idol worshippers to shame, and he will be a chosen one of God, and he is one of the descendants of Kedar like Prophet Muhammad was. If this is not Muhammad, then who is he? The question remains open. Who is he? This is an open question to the Jewish people. Isaiah 42 is your solution and your salvation, my brothers. And Sela. The location, actually Sela, is a mountain in Medina. You go on Google and type Mount Sela. Mount Sela, S-E-L-A. You will see the location. It's where the Prophet Muhammad is buried today. That was the city. That exactly next to the mosque of the Prophet. This is where the Prophet Muhammad migrated, and this is where he died, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And he's buried there, next to Mount Sela. Why such specific references to a man the Jewish people reject to this day? Why? Why the stubbornness? Let's come together. Let's believe in the last messenger of God together, and let's enter paradise together. Open invitation to all the Jewish people in the world. Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum.